G'day everyone, welcome to That Other Show. Summer is kicking into top gear in Australia and the weather is getting hotter and hotter. For those on the other side of the world, throw a snowball for me. But for you Aussies out there, crank up those air conditioners and fans, eat up that cured ham and get those joints all warmed up so you can comfortably enjoy the next 20 minutes of me talking about things and stuff. Cue the music. This is episode 6 of That Other Show. Today is Thursday, the 20th of December, 2018. I am your host Lucas, and here with me is about 7 or 8 droplets of beading sweat, all hanging out on my forehead. During this show, I'll be talking about the following. First up, the Pokeball Plus and Pokemon Let's Go. Then the Age Game of the Year special. Then we'll talk about Shadow, something that's killing off gaming PCs. Then also the Australian Game Awards, something that Snoogs thinks will never happen again after this year. And then we'll do that other description. Alright, let's get into the first one. Okay, so Pokemon Let's Go and the Pokeball Plus. Now, I picked up Pokemon Let's Go a couple of weeks ago now, and I got it with the little collection you can get with the game and the Pokeball Plus. Just makes the whole thing a little bit cheaper. Now, the game itself, from my understanding, it's essentially a remake of the original Pokemon Yellow with all the original 150 Pokemon. If you buy the Pokemon Plus, Pokeball Plus, you get Mew inside the ball and you can transfer it into your game after you connect it all up. I believe it is the only way possible of getting Mew in the game. It's a little bit of pay to complete, I guess, but totally worth it. So the main reason I want to talk about this is I want to talk about the Pokeball Plus. Now, it does bring a lot to the game, and it's really simple to use. Just looking at the thing, it kind of looks like there's only a little thumbstick on it, and the thumbstick clicks in, as they do on most controllers. But there's also another button on the top, which is kind of invisible, and it's rubberized on the surface, and you can click in the top, which gives you another functionality. It's weird, but when you connect to the Pokeball Plus, the on-screen prompts don't change from, A, B, X, and Y. It stays the same. So it's a little bit confusing to learn how to use the thing. But there's a third functionality which isn't a button, but you shake it. So you would press the top button, it'll take you into the menu, and then if you want to go into settings, you shake the Pokeball Plus, and that'll take you into the settings. So it's kind of like a button press. Now, using it to play the game is intuitive, just like in Pokemon Go. When you want to capture a Pokemon, you select the ball you want to use. If you want to use a raspberry or one of the other berries, you can do. And you just fling the ball towards the screen. Obviously, don't let go of it. You're going to smash stuff. And it captures or it fails, whatever, one of the two. The biggest issue with the Pokeball Plus is for an adult-sized human like me. It's really small. And after a while playing with it, my hand sort of starts to cramp up because I'm squeezing my hand down to accommodate the small size of the Pokeball Plus. I really do wish it was a little bit bigger. Children probably won't have much issue. My daughter has played with it. She's not made any such complaints of discomfort or anything like that. But it's still worth playing. I prefer to play with the ball. One of the other cool features is transferring your Pokemon, or one Pokemon at a time, into the Pokeball Plus, and then you can take it wherever you want. You just put it in your pocket, go for a walk if you're going to work or whatever, have it in your pocket. It's got a pedometer in it and it's going to count your steps. Don't really care about for the fitness aspect of it, but you're going to get XP for your Pokemon that is in the ball. You're going to get candies, you're going to get gifts and all that sort of stuff. Then after a day or a couple of days, you go and you transfer your Pokemon back out of the ball into the game, and you get a ton of XP. It's a good way of leveling up while you're not actually playing the game. So I recommend getting the Pokeball Plus if you're going to get Pokemon Let's Go for the Nintendo Switch. I would say in all, the Pokeball Plus is probably as good as it is bad, for the whole reason of it being quite small. But if you look past that and you can deal with the hand cramps, definitely worth using the Pokeball Plus. So that's my take on Pokemon Let's Go and the Pokeball Plus. That's all I've got for that one. Let's move on to the next section, the Age Game of the Year special. Alright, if you're not aware, the Aussie Gamers Express video game podcast has finished up for 2018, and the last episode is the Game of the Year special. It's available now on iTunes, Stitcher, TuneIn Radio, iHeartRadio, Spotify, and YouTube. There's a whole bunch of other places that you can listen to it as well. But it was a great show. I was a special guest on this one, and basically the way the show went was there was myself, there was Snoogs, Ram, Greggio. We all went through our top 5 most honourable mentions for 2018. We also had our biggest letdowns. We also had our most anticipated for 2019, and of course our Game of the Year choices. It was an amazing show. It goes for a long time. It's over 2 hours long, but it'd be great to take up some time, listen to it when you're commuting, listening to it when you're at a family do this Christmas and don't want to listen to your actual family. Sneak in some wireless earbuds and listen to that at the dinner table while everybody else tells you their fantastic stories about, their children's sporting events and things like that nobody's really interested in except for the actual parents. But yeah, it's a good show. Check it out. There's links in the description for this show down below to find it if you're not au fait with how to do that. Or just put a comment and ask, and I'll give you some links and explanation on how to find it. Doing real well. But that was a good show. I'm not going to give away any of the Game of the Year or any of our suggestions. Go and check out that show and leave some comments and reviews on the podcast too, if you wouldn't mind. That would be absolutely appreciated. All right, let's move on to the next section where I'm going to talk about Shadow, a new service that is going to kill gaming PCs. Let's do it. I've done a little bit of research on this new service that is going on. I don't believe it's available in Australia just yet. I think it's a US thing, but I was really intrigued by what they were providing. Now, I've heard of other services where you can do, say, live streaming your video games. I know Google has got something on the way where you can sign up to a service, pay a subscription, and play AAA games over a broadband connection. X speeds will be required and all that sort of stuff, and you basically just stream the game, and the game is being processed far, far away on a server, and you play it on your own computer. And I believe they've been getting performances of around 1080, 60 frames, but there are some artifacts that come out through that, some sort of glitchy graphics. But this new one is a little bit different, where what you do, you sign up and you install the server thing on your computer, the program for it, or you can have an external box to just use on your TV. But you're not just using the servers to play games. What you're actually doing is you're renting a high-performance PC. Now, what happens when you connect to the server is you get access to a desktop running Windows 10, and you can do whatever you want on this remote PC that you essentially own while you pay the subscription and keep paying for it. You've got a PC at your disposal. So not only are you streaming video games, which you can do, you can also install software, video editing software, and edit using a computer that you don't physically have. So your computer may be a little bit of a potato, but you can connect to a beast of a computer and do all of your work on it. It is absolutely amazing. I think this is really cool and could be the way of the future. If you're interested in having a look at what I'm talking about, go to https://shadow.tech/int/discover. I'll put a link in the description for the show, and you can check it out. It's a new kind of PC. Forget about hardware. Shadow is a full Windows computer you can access through a simple app. Enjoy your high-end remote computer on any platform you want. It is really interesting. So yeah, you're not just renting a game streaming service. You're renting a whole gaming computer, which you could use just as a PC. So if your computer's not up to scratch and you don't want to go and spend $3,000, $4,000 on upgrading your PC, you can have a look at this thing as long as you've got a decent internet connection, and you can use this remote computer to do anything that you would do. You could edit a podcast, edit some YouTube videos, all remotely from this computer that you rent. I just think it's an amazing piece of tech, was worth pointing out. Guys and girls, go and have a look at it. If you have any comments about it, please put it in the comment section down below of wherever you're listening to this. I'd love to hear other people's thoughts on this. Is it good? Do you think it's doomed and it's gonna fail, or do you think this is where gaming or computers are going? Instead of owning the physical expensive hardware, are we just going to be renting them remotely? Interesting thing there anyway. But thanks a lot for that one. I'm going to move on now to the next one, which is the Australian Gaming Awards. A pimple on the arsehole of the world. That is how I'm describing the size of the Australian gaming industry. Last night, Snoogs, Rem, Greggio and I made our way all the way into Luna Park in the heart of Sydney, well, North Sydney at least, and checked out the Australian Gaming Awards. $68 grabbed you a ticket, and apparently that was down from around 200 and something. So thanks to the sponsors that brought those prices down to some reasonable coin. But anyway, we went down there. We were excited. We were having a good night. I would have to say that my highlight of the night, I've never been to Luna Park before, but my highlight of the night would have to be the amazing salted caramel ice cream that we got from the parlour across from the Big Top, where the show was being held. But anyway, other than that, the show kicked off and hosted by Stephanie Hex Bendixson was, well, I would say it was good. It wasn't amazing. It didn't blow us away. We didn't really have any, world firsts or anything like that with trailers or any game content or announcements. But a lot of people thought that the Australian Game Awards were very underwhelming, which is, I guess, a fair statement. There was a lot of nominees and winners that didn't even actually attend. Snoogs was saying to me that quite a few of the people that were nominated were actually streaming at the time, just playing their games, doing their thing, didn't care to come down to the Australian Game Awards and support the awards that they were even nominated in, and some of which actually won their categories. So that's disappointing when every second winner that's announced, they say, oh, and unfortunately they can't be with us tonight, so we accept this award on their behalf. Things like that. That's a little bit disappointing. I know for sure if I was, or Age or Australian, anything like that was ever nominated, I would definitely want to be there. It's a big achievement. This is on a national scale. This is for Australia. But, the awards weren't just for Australian things. They were obviously overseas games as well. But a lot of the individual stuff, like the streamers and content creators, all that stuff was all Australian. So that was cool. On top of the actual show, we got given a little bit of a goodies bag, which was on our chair. And I'll put up a photo of the stuff that we got, quickly go through them. There's one of these like weird thumbs up things from Fallout 76 in a wrapper, you can probably hear in the background there. Like those number one hands. It was one of them. There's a beanie with a symbol on it that I recognize, but I have no idea what it is. 2 badges. One's Pokemon Let's Go Eevee. The other one's Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu. That's a little gift from Nintendo. There's also a tiny little badge that says Welcome to the Horizon Festival, which is very plain and very small. There's also a can of Red Bull, obviously being sponsored by Red Bull, and also Bethesda. And Bethesda have given us Nuka-Cola Quantum, along with the little thumbs up hand from Fallout 76. I don't know what this Nuka-Cola Quantum tastes like, but I might have to give that a drink and just save the bottle. But there you go, that's what we got. So the Australian Game Awards, in the end, I think Game of the Year, spoiler alert, if you don't want to know yet, just tune out for about 30 seconds. But Game of the Year was none other than Red Dead Redemption 2. which is a fair call. But for me, if you haven't listened to our Game of the Year show, you got to go do that. That's Aussie Gamers Express on iTunes, Stitcher, TuneIn Radio, and a whole bunch of places. But yeah, for me, overall, the awards was a little bit underwhelming, but I still had a very key record. Good night. It's what you make of it. Had some good friends there. Oh, and even there was a guy in the crowd who was doing the whole heckling thing and just constantly calling out, Fortnite is the winner, Fortnite, better be Fortnite. The embarrassing thing is, I know that guy. I don't know if he recognised me because I kept looking at him going, what the hell are you doing, man? Shut up. But I actually went to high school with that dude, contemplating whether to name him or not. But I don't know if he listens to this show. Hell, I'm going to name him. I'm sure he's no government agency that doesn't want to be named. His name, went to school with him, Ben Cummins. If you're listening to this, I saw you, dude. Shut the fuck up. Just kidding, man. All good. All right. Well, yeah, look, that's all I've got for the Australian Game Awards. It wasn't very well advertised, and as Snoog says, we don't know if it's going to be back next year because it wasn't exactly a successful outing by the looks of things. But anyway, all right, let's move on to the next bit. Where's my script? Oh, the next bit is that other description. On the last episode, the answer to that other description was Assassin's Creed. Well done to Radicus for giving us his answer almost immediately after the show went live. Thank you very much, buddy. Let's go on to this week's That Other Description. The game begins with a male character who is an operative for an organisation known as the Agency, being dropped into a tropical island after being called there by his commanding officer to help overthrow a big bad guy, whom the Agency believes to be in possession of weapons of mass destruction. After your arrival, you meet up with two friendlies who ally themselves with a guerrilla group staging a rebellion against the regime and drug cartel, another enemy of the government. You assist them in their civil war against corrupt officials, mercenaries, and the cartel. You can also assist in the liberation of various territories to further destabilize the government's rule over the island. So there you have it. If you know what that game is from that other description, then put your answer in the Aussie Gamers Express Discord channel. Links to that one will be in the description down below, up above, to the side, wherever you're watching this or listening to this. All right, let's move on to the end of the show. Well, that's it for this episode of That Other Show. If there isn't enough content in this show, then you absolutely need to go back and check out the Aussie Gamers Express video game podcast, which is hosted by Snoogs, Rem, and Greggio. Check out the links in the description for this show if you want to check that one out. You can also search Aussie Gamers Express on iTunes, Stitcher, TuneIn Radio, iHeartRadio, Spotify, and a ton more. Well, this is the last episode of That Other Show for 2018. I won't have any time to make any more before then. Christmas is looming and New Year's will be just after that. So in saying that, I want to wish everybody a very safe and Merry Christmas. If you don't celebrate Christmas, then have a happy and safe whatever it is that you do celebrate, if anything at all. I guess if you don't celebrate any of them, well, enjoy the Australian public holidays on us. Now, if you're a frequent listener of the Aussie Gamers Express podcast, then you'll know all about Greggio's code words. Now, Greggio told us on the last episode, which was the Game of the Year special, that he had some extra code words to fulfill the time off, and he's given one of them to me to share with you guys. It's a code word and a clue, so here it is. Greggio's code word is YAR. As in the pirate. I don't know if that's a pirate's name or if that's just something that a pirate says. Yar, me mateys. I don't know. But anyway, that is the code word YAR. The code YAR. Now, the clue that goes along with that one is Princess Bride, the game. Well, these clues and code words and that go way over my head. They're really hard to work out. Maybe not if you put your mind to it, but for me, it's pretty difficult. Go back, listen to the previous shows, you get all the code words, you put them together, use the clues, work out what the theme is, and if you're correct, put it in the Age Discord, and there you go. Here's a little bit of a cheat for you if you want to check out what the other code words are. They are all listed in the Aussie Gamers Express Discord channel. You can find a little thing there that will list them all. It'll save you listening to the show, but I recommend go and listen to the show anyway. Go on, I dare you. Thanks everyone for listening. Catch you all next time, whenever that is. And until then, I am Lucas, and I will see you.